Welcome to a dose of deeper contemplation. We have cultivated this self-healing practice as we navigate the many aspects of modern life with the desire to be a better human. As a psychic medium, these conversations are channeled, so let's take a walk together and talk it out. We have the opportunity this beautiful day to sit with the ocean. And so we're on the beach meditating and being present in this very peaceful, profound moment to simply observe the natural world of this planet and in presence feel the energy and the connection. Being able to sit here and feel the ocean, not just observe her beauty and her mass and her power and smell her beautiful salt air and gaze at her beautiful blue colors, to take in her beauty and take in her energy. And how grateful to have come into presence to be able to experience this, and having a moment like, wow, this is what it used to feel like for humans. We often find ourselves wondering what it would be like in that lifetime, that lifeline that we understand as primitive human. Such a curious imaginary world to go into at times, and when we do, there is such peace in just coexisting with the natural world. And as the constructs and the challenges and the control of the modern world continues to bring so much suffering, perhaps there is a collective energy growing for those folks who are just done. We're just done. Who are awakening to this, like, what is this work thing? Why do we give and give and give and give in ourselves, even without the security of truly being able to provide what that work is meant to provide, which is sustenance, survival, sustainability, and seemingly that's getting harder to do. But this is where the wool is over the eyes, because it's been that way. There are those who have and those who don't. And there's a mechanism and a control at play in order to keep that power. What's interesting about power is that there is a nature to it that requires or desires expansion. Let's call the most powerful source of energy, right, is the universe, a certain understanding. And then some people even refer to that as a word God. Nothing's more powerful, right? And what do we know that the universe is always doing? Expanding. So those who sit in positions of power, really presumed power, because it's part of the construct in a belief system in which we allow others to have power over us. But those in that assumed position, that's not satiated, that power. In fact, it's oftentimes just more opportunity to see how they can grow that power, how that power can be stronger. This is, in many ways, the essence of our modern day existence, and seeing it in different ways, manifested in different ways around the entire planet, wherever humanity dwells, civilization. And there was a time where that didn't exist. Humans were another part of the animal kingdom, as we call it. And the existence was to awaken when woken. Oftentimes for some, that's by the daylight. There's a forging of some sorts for sustenance, the fuel that the species requires to continue to exist, resources like food and water, and that's pretty much it. Exploring and observing and being in this natural world, almost like just being a scientist all day. So interesting to think of that, right? Consciousness begin to grow and evolve within the mind, the brain mechanism of the species. Those observation modes in the forging process become more acute. And as illnesses came to the species, it was then again turning to the natural world for medicine and seeing and observing what nature was providing to heal humans when needed. So it kind of breaks down like primitive human. You wake up when you wake up. You're either like a scientist or a doctor foraging for food, but really at your own leisure, really at the own pace of what's needed. There was no exchange for work, for money, in order to live, have food and water and shelter was totally provided. The natural world still does provide this, but again, the expansion of power and seeing in a vulnerable time when laws, quote unquote, were put into place, boundaries were formed, invisible lines, and within laws put in place came punishment. And now we have introduced living in fear. And it is very easy to control folks who are in fear. So one point in time, the human experience was rise, explore, observe, sustain, connect, and then rest. And then rise, feel grateful, create, sing, dance, move, run, communicate with the flowers and the trees and animals, and then rest. And it would be in a flow of how energy is orchestrating itself and expression on this planet. And there would be space in this flow for the human mind to become attuned and focused on observing and connecting with this beautiful world, natural world, just like we got to do with the ocean today. And just that little dose, that little amount of space and time, it so shifts. It shifts into the connection of source and not the connection of the collective mind. And in this moment with the ocean this morning, she was sharing with me even further about the laws of beauty. Within universal laws, there is beauty. And this is not in reference to the beauty industry or constructed images of beauty in any way. That's taking the natural connection that humans have to beauty and manipulating it. Natural state of beauty is being able to use our senses and observe fully creation. That a gift of having the human experience is to experience through mind, body, and soul this creation of Earth. We call it Earth. Beauty is truly a principle of natural science. And there is a complex formula, if you will, to that beauty. One part of that formula is truly the engineering, the brilliance of the engineering. That brilliance being the unique aspects of every single thing that exists in physical matter. Literally every leaf, when examined, is its own masterpiece of beauty. People were designed the same. Everyone has brilliance. Everyone has beauty. It's simply attuning ourselves to observing the world through natural beauty And if you really want to go on a ride, attuning yourself to know that you are the creator of this beauty in this form, experiencing it through the lens, through the vision, through the body, through the senses. And that is a hell of a ride. Thank you so much for being in this conversation with us. This is Deep Dose, and we are Eden.